Hey, this is Ramon, Channel Alpha 4, and I am trying out a new mic. So if this doesn't get posted, it's because the sound wasn't good. Alright, so today we are doing the cattle, surah 6, ayat 132 through 154. And let's begin with passage ayah 136. And this is a passage against teething, as the Quran thinks that money could be better spent on the needy. So let's read that. And they dedicated to God a share of the crops and cattle He created, saying, "This belongs to God," or so they claim. "And this belongs to our partners. But that which is for their partners does not reach God, and that which is for God does reach their partners. Evil indeed is the judgment they make." Then we get to ayah 137. An accusation of pagan child sacrifice in general, and a condemnation of female daughter infanticide specifically. This is a common complaint against many religions, and a method of othering. So let's read that. Likewise, have their partners made the slaying of their children seem fair unto many of the idolaters, that they may ruin them and confound them in their religion. Had God willed, they would not have done so. So leave them, and that which they fabricate. Then we get to ayah 138, a passage against the declaring of sacred animals. And they say, "These cattle and crops are sacrosanct. None shall eat of them, save whom we will." Or so they claim. And cattle whose backs are forbidden, and cattle over which they do not invoke the name of God, fabricating against him. Soon will he recompense them for that which they used to fabricate. Then we get to ayah 140. Continued condemnation against pagan practices. Lost indeed are those who slay their children foolishly, without knowledge, and make forbidden that which God has provided them, fabricating against God. They indeed have gone astray, and were not rightly guided. Then we get to ayah 142. And this ayah brings Islam into direct conflict with Hinduism and other vegetarian, vegan, and pacifist religious ideologies. And the cattle, some for burden and some for slaughter, eat of that which God has provided you, and follow not the footsteps of Satan. Truly, he is a manifest enemy unto you. Then we get to ayah 145, and I had a bit of a problem with this ayah. Specifically because declaring against others' ritual prohibitions, while at the same time affirming your own, is hypocritical and contradicts its own logic. So let's see that. Let's see why I had that objection. Say, "I do not find in that which is revealed unto me anything forbidden to one who would eat thereof, save carrion or blood poured forth, or the flesh of swine, for that is surely defilement, or a sinful offering made to other than God. But whosoever is compelled by necessity, without willfully disobeying or transgressing, truly thy Lord is forgiving, merciful." Then we get to ayah 147. The Muslim understanding of mercy is different than the Christian or Jewish understanding of that word. According to the Quran, mercy is about the delaying of punishment, not the averting of. Much like how the ancient Spartan version of mercy was a quick death with a lack of, or a minimization of, suffering. Now this one I'm going to read from two translations. "But if they deny thee, say, your Lord is possessed of vast mercy, but his might will not be averted, from the guilty people. And then from another translation, but if they give thee the lie, then say, your Lord is the Lord of all-encompassing mercy, and his punishment cannot be averted from the guilty people. Then we get to ayah 148. This ayah states that God willed idolaters to follow their practices, and that God is therefore capable of altering those said practices, but chooses not to. So here's my counter question to ayah 148 of surah 6. What is the proof or evidence of Islamic claims? All right, and now let's get into that. By the way, this proof has to come from outside of the Quran. That's what I'm asking for. What proof outside of the Quran proves the claims inside the Quran? That is what is being asked here. Those who ascribe partners unto God will say, had God willed, we would not have ascribed partners unto God, nor our fathers, nor would we have forbidden anything. Those who were before them had similarly denied, till they tasted our might. Say, do you have any knowledge that you can produce for us? You follow naught but conjecture, and you merely surmise. Okay. Then let's get to ayah 149. This ayah is an example of circular reasoning. What is the clear and incontrovertible proof being referenced here? As messengers, prophets, and imams are not sufficient proofs of truth, and intrinsic knowledge is not proof either, as assumptions and common sense can be wrong. And moreover, there are holy books that say things contrary to the Abrahamic faiths. Also, some scholars claim this ayah is an Islamic claim in support of free will. So how is this an argument for free will? So let's read this. There's a lot in here. There's a lot in this ayah. So break it down piece by piece when you guys respond to that. Okay, so this is 149. Say, unto God belongs the conclusive argument. Had he willed, he could surely have guided you all. How such a simple statement has so much layers to it is amazing. All right, let's continue on. Ayah 150. If a holy book or scripture that was revealed before the Quran completely denies or goes against Islamic teachings, what then? If Muslims and the Quran do not give credence to the witnesses of other religions, then why should they believe your witnesses? Also, the hereafter, hell, heaven, resurrection, and final judgment are vague terminology whose meaning can be interpreted to mean different things in different cultures. Even among those who share the same religion, there are different interpretations of what these things are and what these things mean. For instance, hell is different in different religions. Heaven is different in different religions. What resurrection is different in different religions. What the final judgment means is different in different religions. Even in the same religion, sometimes people have different views on what these things actually represent and how they're going to be expressed in reality. So let's get into that. And this will be ayah 150. This will be the closing. Say, bring forward your witnesses who can bear witness that God has forbidden this. Then, if they bear witness, do not bear witness with them, and do not follow the caprices of those who deny our signs, nor those who believe not in the hereafter and ascribe equals unto their Lord. That's it for today. You guys wanted harder questions, and believe it or not, these questions, even though they are tougher than the ones that I've been asking, are not part of my harder question set. These were actually questions that I had from my first read through. I had to clean them up a little bit because I learned more since I first read this. But still, I would like answers to these questions because these have bothered me since I read this a few months ago. So anyway, peace, like, subscribe, talk to you all later. Have a good night.